United Way provides help during emergencies to anyone who needs it. Take a look.
The next emergency that happens could be the next major pileup on Route 22. It could be a hazmat situation at a hospital. It could be a breakout of a communicable disease. And we rally around those things and we plan for these and we go into action quickly.
Emergency services as a whole are invaluable to this community. For those individuals who either find themselves falling between the cracks, running out of options, no other place to either go or seek support.
One of the things that we really appreciate about our relationship with the United Way is they put a high value on having that emergency safety net in place for the residents of the Lehigh Valley, and we partner with them in that area. So I meet with the leadership staff there several times a year. If we're undergoing program changes or we see an opportunity where we can work with another United Way partner, we pursue those and use the staff at the United Way as a really a valued resource and a partner.
I think that United Way recognized that there are many layers of people in the community with diverse needs and that people with disabilities need some additional outreach when an emergency hits. And when there's a disaster on your block in your community, everyone has needs, but United Way was able to see that it's very multi-layered and very multifaceted for people with disabilities, and that being able to add in our services of being experts on disabilities, that we could work together with other community partners and make sure that all of our citizens are well taken care of in the event of a disaster or emergency.
When it comes to servicing the community during emergencies like these, your income level does not come into play. It's a matter of who needs help, and we need to get them the help as quickly as possible. We want to make sure there's enough funding, enough resources, and the right people to coordinate the efforts so their pain is minimal, and they can go on with their lives and make things better for someone else.
With the local United Way, when they went through their programming changes last year, they decided they always needed to have resources available to fund emergency services, whether it's the Red Cross or the many other terrific nonprofits that we partner with.
Our Emergency Services Fund is always a part of our budget. A resolution was passed on our board, and it's now in the bylaws, and there's always a certain amount, always, that will not get cut for our emergency services. That's there forever.
I'm a firm believer in the fact that what emergency services does is improve the quality of life and heightens the awareness for the whole community about what the needs are in the Lehigh Valley.
I would like to express appreciation to United Way for thinking outside the box, because thinking of a disability services agency as part of a resource for first responders may not be on everyone's radar, but they definitely could see the connection. That's part of their out-of-the-box thinking and part of bringing together partners in the community to make the community better.
We get a lot done with less, and it's gratifying to know that as a donor, as a former board member, and as an employee, that we're getting so much done in this community and making it a better place for everyone. You know, we can bring the major partners together to do all the right things, and that's what we're able to do, because 32 employees, you can't do it on your own. You need the help of an entire community to make this better. That's exactly what's happening. Our record speaks for itself, and I'm proud to be an employee.
Joining me in the studio is David Lewis, President of United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley. David, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Ashley.
Why is it so important for United Way to be committed to offering emergency services?
Well, our role in emergency services is really the coordinating all the efforts. There's a lot of great programs and services out there that provide services for folks that need it, but we want to make sure that we're working together, we're working collaboratively, so we bring everybody to the table just to make sure we're all in sync.
You think about big, large-scale disasters such as Hurricane Sandy, but there are other little things that happen along the way that really aren't so little, such as a house fire or someone being without heat. Where does United Way come into play during those kinds of emergencies?
Well, we fund many programs that provide services for those events. I mean, they happen all too often, and what's one of the things about emergency services is it cuts across all income levels. So it doesn't matter what your income level is, it doesn't matter what your race, your age, whether you're young or old, it happens to everyone.
United Way has an emergency disaster fund specifically set aside to help people. What's the protocol if someone should have an emergency or disaster strikes in their life and they call United Way? What's the protocol? What happens from that point?
Once they get in touch with us or a partner agency, we bring everybody together, we look at the situation, and we make sure that they have the services they need.
You're talking about different agencies and coordinating care, I guess, so to speak. Why does United Way feel that it's their role to bring these different agencies such as Red Cross or shelters or other places together, especially during an emergency?
We've been asked by the community, I think because we're, back in the day, they sometimes referred to United Way as Switzerland. In other words, we don't have one specific cause. We help generally in a lot of different areas, and it's just a leadership role that we're able to play. I can't tell you the number of donors that I talk to, the number of corporate donors and individual donors that appreciate our being the convener.
You mentioned bringing a bunch of different agencies and partners together. Why does United Way work so hard to make sure that there are different agencies communicating for these common goals?
Part of our role in the community is to provide leadership, and we do that when we convene the different partners. When I'm out talking to individuals, when I'm out at companies talking about United Way, making a presentation, I often hear the importance of us playing that leadership role to convene people, to bring people together to the table, again, just to talk, to communicate, and make sure all the services are in sync.
Tell me a little bit about some of the other missions and projects that United Way has going on throughout this region and as it's reflected across the country.
Well, community schools is really, that's our poster child, so to speak. I mean, we've been recognized nationally for our work in community schools. Really our focus there is third grade reading. We're right now into 11 community schools officially, with 11 other priority schools on the way, for a total of 22 in Bethlehem, Allentown, and Easton. So that's really a key focus of ours. We've been recognized nationally for a lot of our work there, and we're not only helping kids every day. We were just out doing the Dr. Seuss Read Across America piece at our community schools, but what we're starting to see is those third grade reading scores really increase, which is spectacular.
Wonderful. So great, David, to see how United Way is getting all of these resources in the community together to better serve the individuals here. So thank you so much for sharing with us today.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
For more information on United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley or anything from today's show, go to our website at thepeaktv.com. And remember, every day is an opportunity to be your best self. This is The Peak. The Peak TV is a production of ASR Media.